Okay, in this movie we're going to show how you can link to your web page or your grading policy right within PowerSchool. So when parents go and check their grades, which is probably one of the main websites they're ever going to be checking, they'll be able to have quick access to your website or your grading policies or any information that you would like to give them. So you need to be in your PowerTeacher gradebook. You can click on any one of the classes. I'm going to be on connection so that people don't see grades. And then what we're going to do is we're going to click on class content. Now here's where we can type some stuff, and this will be put onto their uh, uh, report card or their grades when the people look into PowerSchool. And this will show whatever we want for that particular section that we're on. The other tab, and so we'll figure out how to do that here in a second. The other tab is called My Content, so I can click on that one. The school content is not really for the teachers, so that'll be for something else. So we'll click on My Content, and we're going to get this page. Now this is the same page you're going to get no matter what section you're on. So you can be on any section here and click on My Content, and this just pools all your content that you want to use that you can eventually then use in the class info for each of these individual classes. So on each of these individual classes, if I click class info, I'm going to get a different box for that particular class. But if I click on My Content, no matter what section I'm in, I just have the place where I can put all like links and things to it. And so what I want to do is I want to go down the bottom here and I can set up content groups. So I can just kind of set up some basically categories is what they are here. So I can call one of them maybe physics. And I can change the color folder of the category. I could put a description if I want to. And I'll just leave it like that. And I'll click the plus sign if I want to add a new group. There we go. And I'm going to change this to green. And I'll call this one chemistry. And hit return. And so now I have two basically categories in there. It's not a real big deal, but that's how you can set up some content groups. And I'll go ahead and close that. And so that later on, when I add here content to this, I'm going to have options to choose what group it's in. So I'm going to add some links to this page that I can eventually then use in my class info, and also that I can use to email out to parents eventually. So I'm going to click the plus sign down here and say, okay, I want to make a link to my physics site. So I'm going to call this DMAC Physics 160. And I need an address to my website. So what I'm going to do is, and if you need to watch the video that I made earlier about how you can make sure that your Moodle page is actually like a website so that parents and anybody can go and look at your website. And so I need the URL to my particular Moodle website. So here we go. So I have my Moodle site open. I'm not actually even logged into my site. I'm just here using guest access, but this is my chemistry site. And so if you do that, you can go, without even being logged in, you can go and view your web page on your Moodle site and come up here and copy this URL. This is a unique URL for my particular page. So all of our URLs for all of our Moodle sites look like this, but we have a different class ID. So my chemistry is number 4. And so you'll have a different number here, will be the only difference for your particular site. So I'm going to copy that, Command C, copy that, and let's go back to this one. And I'm going to copy the address in. Now you'll notice I just did DMAC Physics, and that was my chemistry site. So instead of 4, I need to actually do 2 because that is the ID number for my physics class. So then for type, this is just a website, so I'm going to leave it on that. But there's other things, like if you have a PDF on your Moodle page or a Word document or Excel or a PowerPoint on your Moodle page and you want to link to that, it's still a URL that you would put in there, but then you can say, well, I want it to, it's a PDF that I'm linking to or something like that. But generally, we're just going to be linking to a website. Now in a group, I can check for a group and see that I just put those groups in there. So there's physics, okay? And I could type in a description of welcome to the website or something like that. And I'll click save on that. And that'll put some a link up in my content. Let's do another one. Let's do another plus sign here, and we'll do DMAC Chemistry 165 address. Paste it in. ID 4 is what my chemistry site is. Website. I want to put a category of chemistry there. Click save, and that'll put that in there for my content. So you might want to do a couple links to your sites, your websites there in your My Content. And now that'll be available to me when I go to class info for any of these things. So I'm going to stay in connections, and I'm just going to go to class info. And so this is what I have for my connections. If I clicked on physics, then I'll have one that's a little different for the physics. I already have some stuff in there, so I'll show you that later. So here's my connections again. And what I can do is I can just type some things in here. I can say connections is a time to connect with each other. And I can just do whatever I want to there. Type something in there like this. And some things I can do if you want to be really creative on some stuff, you can just Google search, basic HTML. So there's certain things you can do in here if you want to like underline something, like connect. In front of connect, I could do tag u tag, and then tag /u tag. And that will underline whatever word is between these two tags. These are very simple HTML things. You can, just Google, how do I underline an HTML, in a search, and it's going to show you how you can put little tags like this in front of things and do stuff. You can imagine maybe what bold would be. If I want to bold the word, I would do that. Another tag, and I have to close bold. Just some basic stuff. We can get a little more complicated, and I could go out in the front of this whole statement, and I could do tag font color equals blue, close tag. And at the end, I can do close the font tag. So, don't worry about this. You don't have to do this stuff. This is just stuff I thought maybe there's a couple people out there who might like to do if you've never done anything like this. You can just Google search easy little HTML things, and you can make this kind of look how you want to do it. I could do another font thing. Actually, I could copy this font thing right here and put it in front of time, and do /font there. And change this one to red. So everything's going to be blue, and then when I get to this, it's going to make the word time red, and then you got to make sure you have your closing tags on there because that'll make things messed up. There you go. And so I can just do things like that if you want to. Otherwise, don't worry about that. Just type whatever information you want about connections in here, and I'll return down. Now what I can also do now is I can add a link to this. And the way we do that is we'll click the plus link, and so what I can do is I can add a URL down here, and then I can put the link text. So that's what will show up, and they'll click on it, and it'll go to this particular URL, and I can have that open the link in a new browser. Now, if you remember, we already put links to my physics and chemistry site in the My Content section. So when I add the link, I can click on My Content and have these available. So this is connections, but I'll just pretend it's physics. I'll say I want a link to my physics. So I click on the physics, and it just fills it in there for me. So that's pretty nice. And then click OK, and it'll put HTML linkage stuff on here. So you might not understand this, but this is how you would link. Basically, href is the URL that it's going to go to. Target equals blank means it's going to open it in a new window. Here's the text that they will click on, so they won't see anything except for this particular thing right here. So that's how I can add a link to like a site, and I can click save on that down at the bottom. And I'll just show you, like in my physics site, what I have. So I have font color is blue. I have a description of a certain my grading system. Like I have a my percent progress, which basically means they have to get this all done. So I need the parents to know to not flip out about the grade on there, because at any given moment it could be really, really low or really, really high, depending on if I've opened up a new unit or something like this. So I need them to all understand that. So I have this description here, and then I have a link to my physics website. So that's how you do that. You can put some links in your My Content section, and then you can use them in your class info section for each of these. So what we want to probably look at is, how does that look? So if I'm in my just regular Power Teacher, and I click on the backpack in like the connections. Let's click on the backpack in the connections. And I got different people here. And I can click on a last name. If I can get to the quick lookup screen, and I can get to the connections section, connections, where's connections? Yeah, connections right here. And you go like the F1, you click on the very last thing here. I can click on that. And so then, when anybody comes to our Power School grades and they look at it, I'm coming through the quick lookup screen, but this is what it would look like basically when a parent or someone logs in. Here's the class. There's no assignments in this thing because this is all connections. But in the section description, see, it's going to have whatever you put in that class info. So connections is a time to connect with each other, and you'll see that I had, certain things underlined, certain things in red, the line in blue. And then below it, I have a link to my DMAC Physics 160. So if I click on that, then that opens up my physics website. So they can have a link right to it. So this is pretty valuable here if you really want to show them, about your grading policies or how to link to their Moodle page. That's where you can do that. So hopefully that will help you figure out some stuff.